Are you stuck in a habit you just can't seem to break? You try to stop, but that frustration of ending up right back where you started, it's exhausting. What if you could finally actually take control? Well, this explainer breaks down the science of habits into a 5-level system that's going to let you rebuild any behavior and put you back in the driver's seat. So, where's all this from? We're pulling these insights directly from Charles Duhigg's amazing book, The Power of Habit. And the core idea is really simple. All of our habits follow a predictable pattern. Once you see that pattern, you get the power to change it. Welcome to level 1. Before you can change a habit, you've got to understand how it works. And listen, habits aren't a moral failing. They're actually a feature. They're just your brain's super efficient way of saving energy by putting common stuff on autopilot. So, how does this autopilot really function? Well, it's way simpler than you might think. Researchers found this simple little loop in our brains at the core of every single habit we have. This diagram shows the whole system. First, you've got a cue. That's the trigger that tells your brain to go into auto mode. Second is the routine, the behavior itself. And finally, the reward, which tells your brain, hey, this whole loop is worth remembering. Cue, routine, reward. That's the code you need to crack.
And this entire loop is stored deep inside a primitive part of your brain called the basal ganglia. It just runs without your conscious mind's permission. And that is exactly why habits feel so automatic and why trying to fight them with pure brute force feels impossible.
All right, here are your level 1 quests. First, and this is important, pick just one habit. Don't try to change your whole life at once. Next, for 48 hours, don't even try to stop it. Just be a detective. When the habit happens, ask yourself, what was the trigger? Your mission is simply to find the cue. Now, the big trap here is overcomplicating things, thinking your habit is this complex web of a dozen different factors. The fix? Just remember the simple truth. It's just a cue, a routine, and a reward. Find those 3 things and you've cleared level 1. On to level 2. So you understand the loop, but what's actually driving it? What's the engine that makes the whole thing spin? Well, the secret ingredient is something called craving. Check this out. It comes from a famous experiment with a monkey. At first, his brain activity spiked when he got a reward. But after a little training, his brain started to light up when he saw the cue, way before the reward ever showed up. His brain learned to anticipate and crave that reward. And that anticipation, that's what locks a habit in place. Time for your level 2 quests. The next time your cue hits, just pause for a second and notice the craving. Feel it. Then start experimenting. If you normally grab a cookie, maybe try a quick walk instead. Or chat with a coworker. The whole point is to figure out what reward your brain is actually looking for. The trap here is trying to use pure willpower to just ignore the craving. We've all tried it, and it almost never works long term. The fix is to become a scientist. If you can understand what you're truly craving, you can find a better, healthier way to get that same satisfaction. Okay, level 3. This is the main event. This is the core mechanic of changing a habit. This is the how-to, the central strategy of this whole framework, and it's called the golden rule. And here it is. You can't just delete a bad habit. That pathway in your brain already exists, but you can overwrite it. The golden rule is this. You keep the old cue, you deliver the old reward, but you insert a new routine. You're basically hijacking the existing system to build something better. Alcoholics Anonymous is a perfect example of this. For a lot of members, the cue is a feeling of anxiety, and the reward they're craving is relief. The old routine was drinking. AA brilliantly inserts a new routine, calling a sponsor. See, the cue is the same, the reward is the same, but the routine in the middle is totally transformed. So, your quests for level 3 are really direct. Based on your experiments in level 2, you're going to design a new routine that gives you the reward you're craving. Write it down. Then, the next time that cue hits, your mission is to consciously execute your new plan. Now, the trap here is trying to change the cue and the reward at the same time. It's just too much to handle at once. The fix is to focus only on changing that middle piece, the routine. Use the power of the cue and reward you already have to drive your new behavior. Let's move on to level 4. It turns out some habits are more important than others. These are what we call keystone habits. They're small wins that create this amazing cascade of other positive changes, a lot of times without you even trying. Here's a powerful example. When a new CEO named Paul O'Neill took over the aluminum company Alcoa, he didn't talk about profits. He obsessed over one thing,
worker safety. He made zero injuries the company's #1 keystone habit.
And the result? Well, to improve safety, they had to improve communication and fix broken processes. It transformed the entire company culture. By the time O'Neill left, Alcoa's profits were 5 times higher than when he started. That's the incredible ripple effect of a keystone habit. Your level 4 quests. First, just brainstorm one small daily keystone habit, something like making your bed every morning. Then, for the next 48 hours, just track the ripple effects. Do you feel a little more productive? Did you eat better? Just observe the chain reaction. The trap is aiming for some huge, life-altering change right out of the gate. You're just going to burn out. The fix is to find one small, consistent win that makes all the other changes feel easier. That is where you find the real leverage. Finally, level 5, training your willpower. You know, we tend to think of willpower as a trait you either have or you don't, but the research shows it's actually a skill. And more importantly, it acts like a muscle. It gets tired when you overuse it, but you can also strengthen it over time. Your level 5 quests are all about managing this muscle. First, practice your new routine when your willpower is high, which for most people is in the morning. Second, do one small act of self-control every day, like resist checking your phone for just 10 minutes. These little reps build your reserves. The final trap is relying on pure grit when you're exhausted. Your willpower muscle is totally depleted by then. The fix is to build systems that make good choices automatic, like laying out your gym clothes the night before. You want to make the right path the easiest path.
You've made it to the final challenge. You can have the perfect system, but for any change to really last, especially when you're stressed, you need one more critical ingredient: belief. You have to genuinely believe that change is possible for you.
So, your bonus quests are all about building that belief. First, share your goal with one person or a group. That creates accountability. Second, make a plan for when you struggle. Decide right now that you're going to reach out for support instead of just giving in. Because the ultimate trap is trying to do all of this by yourself. The fix is realizing that sustained change is a team sport. Community is what provides the support that cements your belief that you can actually do this thing. All right, let's do a quick checkpoint recap. Level 1, understand the cue, routine, reward, loop. Level 2, recognize that craving is the engine. Level 3, use the golden rule to swap the routine. Level 4, find a keystone habit for a big impact. Level 5, manage willpower like a muscle. And the bonus key, use community to build belief. So how do you put this all together? Here is a suggested 7-day quest plan. Day 1, pick your one habit and identify its cue. Day 2, figure out the real reward you're after. Day 3, design your new plan. Day 4, start putting it into action. Day 5, and this is so important, plan for when you slip up. Day 6, tell one person about your goal. And Day 7, review your week and celebrate your progress no matter how small. To make this even easier, I turned all of this into a clean PDF and an action worksheet you can use. The link is right down there in the description. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button and maybe share it with a friend who needs to see it. Now, for your final quest, I want you to comment below. What is the single next step you are going to take in the next 24 hours? Be specific. Writing it down is the first step to making it real. Good luck.